There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
So the whole news story of Luigi Mangione being the prime suspect behind the incident involving the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, just feels so strange. It feels very bizarre, like we've been here before. Now, I did make a video yesterday for entertainment purposes only, and I have to say that for YouTube, but for entertainment purposes only, I said that a lot of these news stories that are coming out, they feel heavily scripted, they feel fake, they feel manufactured. Yes, the incidents, these people may have really lost their lives, these incidents may have really happened, but they feel manufactured to basically extend them, to keep us interested. To keep us saying, this really doesn't make sense. Do they really have the right guy? Again, to keep our focus. Back on July 13th, 2024, there was an incident at Trump's rally. This individual seen here climbed on top of a roof and he opened fire. News and media named this individual as Thomas Matthew Crooks. Now, supposedly, Thomas Matthew Crooks was taken out on the roof, and we were all confused when Thomas Matthew Crooks was seen in a video saying, I hate Republicans, I hate Trump, but you have the wrong guy.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans, I hate Trump, and guess what? You got the wrong guy.
But in actuality, this is not Thomas Matthew Crooks, but an individual on TikTok or Twitter who goes by Jew-gazing. He just looks suspiciously like Thomas Matthew Crooks' twin here. But at that time, a lot of people were saying to themselves, how could Thomas Matthew Crooks be deceased on the roof? But at the same time, he's making this video saying you got the wrong guy. This is very suspicious. Well, a rabbit hole opened up and people went down this rabbit hole that led to nowhere. Well, it's happening again. The script is playing out again. We have another individual on TikTok who's claiming to be the individual who took out the United Healthcare CEO. And what's rather interesting, a lot of people are saying that this could be the actual guy. And this guy looks more like the actual guy, what was seen in the photos, than the guy they have in custody. This guy on TikTok is doing the same exact thing that the guy that claimed to be Thomas Matthew Crooks is doing. He is saying, keep on searching, you got the wrong guy. Isn't it very interesting how these scripts overlap? These stories are now playing very, very similar because they no longer care. They don't care how sloppy they are when it comes to the details. Going back to July 13th, when this news first broke out of this incident at Trump's rally, police and investigators came out and said that they towed away the white van, the suspect's white van with the Arizona license plates. Well, come to find out, Thomas Matthew Crooks had nothing to do with this white van, and he actually drove a Hyundai Sonata. So what happened to the white van? Well, nothing. We've heard no more about this white van in any other news story. The only time we heard of the white van was in the body cam police talking about it, but that was it. While it never came out officially, people connected this white van with Arizona license plates to Maxwell Yerrick because his father was from Arizona. His father, who lived in Arizona, owned a white van of the same make and model. So this was purposely done to sow confusion and again, make you go down a rabbit hole. Just like with this story here involving the United Healthcare CEO and the two different book bags and the two different jackets. The two different book bags and the two different jackets are basically the white van and the Hyundai Sonata. And again, like I said in my last video, it's very possible that the suspect has multiple pairs of clothes, two different jackets, two different book bags. That's always possible. But news and media, Fox News, CNN, New York Post, and others made sure to let us know this was indeed the same jacket that he wore at the scene of the crime.
A nearby hostel where they believe this gunman was staying. As you mentioned, he's got that green jacket on and the black mask pulled down. That matches what he was wearing the morning of the shooting just yesterday when he killed his father of two and husband. That was exactly the jacket. And then
So again, the same old song and dance. We have people on TikTok that are saying that this is the guy. Police have the wrong guy in custody, hold everything. And they don't realize that this person here is an actor that came out of nowhere to basically sow that confusion, to lead these people down a rabbit hole that will go down absolutely nowhere, just to keep them distracted and keep them focused. Just like with Thomas Matthew Crooks, the only people that news and media were interviewing were people from Thomas Matthew Crooks High School. And Thomas Matthew Crooks graduated high school years ago. I believe Thomas Matthew Crooks was 22 or 23, somewhere around there, but they kept interviewing people from his high school. Well, it's happening again when it comes to Luigi Mangione, who's 26, years after he supposedly graduated high school. News and media are interviewing his classmate from high school. Why? Like with Thomas Matthew Crooks' classmate, this classmate here, it feels like such a bogus and scripted interview.
Your classmate's name?
Luigi Mangione.
How do you know him? What school did you guys go to? How long did you know him for?
So I knew him. I came into the school in 8th grade. I knew him 8th grade throughout high school. But I obviously knew him. We were a small class, small school, only about 400 kids in the high school, maybe like 85 to 100 in my class. So everybody knew everyone, really.
So what were your interactions? Like, how well did you know him? How many times would you speak to him? What do you remember?
I would say I spoke to him pretty frequently. He was like a leader in our class, so I'm not quite sure the exact clubs because it's a while back, but he was like a leader of clubs. He was in many clubs. He was also like a soccer player as well. He played baseball, I believe, in middle school, but I think he stopped after that. But everyone just knew him as like a quiet, reserved, nice kid, and he was obviously really intelligent, and everybody can tell that by his resume, of course. Yeah.
So he's a valedictorian.
Who says things like that? This is also Thomas Matthew Crooks' 8th grade classmate talking about him. You can just see how this reeks of being a script.
Thomas was a quiet kid unless there was something that he was passionate about, politics being one of them. He just did not like politicians, especially with the choices that we've had. He did not like our politicians. It was especially during 2016. It was Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, all of them. He showed that he disliked all of them, did not like any of them. So I brought up the fact that I'm Hispanic and I'm for Trump, and he said, "Well, you're Hispanic, so shouldn't you hate Trump?" And I was like, "No, he's great. I mean, like, he's a great president." And he called me stupid, or insinuated that I was stupid. He's like, "Well, that's kind of stupid." If he was a know-it-all. So, like, once again, if he was passionate about something, he would just talk.
And they were discussing politics like this in middle school. He goes on, and it's just way too much information, way too much detail for somebody you knew all the way back in 8th grade that you really weren't friends with. They also wanted us to believe that this young kid, Thomas Matthew Crooks, outsmarted and evaded the police and Secret Service and almost did Mission Impossible. What I also find to be very suspicious, if you watch the longer video footage of the suspect taking out the United Healthcare CEO, and I can't post it here for obvious reasons, but the gun jams, and the suspect, he remains calm, he remains collected, he unjams the gun in a very professional way, and he continues to fire to take out his target. The way he unjams the gun, the way he remains calm, makes me believe that this is some kind of professional, and he's done this before. If this was some kind of young kid, this was his first time, he was thinking about this, he was nervous, and he goes to take out this target, and the gun jams, more than likely he would drop the gun or run away. But no, he continues on with the mission like any trained professional would. So again, this story is designed to make you go, this really doesn't make any sense. Let me just keep on investigating to see if I find anything else that doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, those who know what they're doing. Even the way that they found the supposed suspect, Luigi Mangione, comes off very suspicious. They want us to believe that an employee at a McDonald's, and McDonald's, if you have not noticed, has been in a lot of very strange stories lately. We even have the suspect posing with a Happy Meal box from McDonald's in one photo. Now, this is the photo of Luigi Mangione at that McDonald's where he was captured. Seeing him in this photo here with this hat, would you have ever guessed or suspected that he was the suspect in the photo that news and media are sending out? News and media want us to believe that he went to McDonald's with the same exact clothing that he wore at the crime scene. Yes, that's what they said. Now here's something rather interesting. They are saying that the clothing and the mask were consistent with what he was wearing at the scene of the crime. But does this look consistent? Does the mask look consistent? This looks like a surgical mask. And he had a backpack. Inside the backpack was the same exact gun. He had fake photo IDs. He had $8,000 in cash. But more importantly, like with every one of these very strange crime stories, he had a manifesto, which basically, like I said, had shown his hate for United Healthcare and insurance companies. So they want us to believe he had everything at this McDonald's to basically pin him to what happened with this United Healthcare CEO. And it all went down suspiciously at McDonald's. Then they are constantly releasing new photos and videos of him. They have his mugshot. Then they have this second shot, which I don't know what this is. Maybe it's another mugshot. Then they have this other shot of him in his cell. And they have video footage of him coming out of a car surrounded by police, detectives, and so forth. They just want us to really believe that this is the guy. There is just so much that's suspicious here that we all need to be aware that we are seeing a script playing out once again, and everything is very similar to what happened on July 13th, down to the classmates, the different kind of items, people not looking like who they are supposed to look like, and then we got the whole twin situation going on. It's just one big crazy and strange world, and these events are becoming more stranger, and again, they are playing out the same. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.
New York, as far as I know.
That's completely out of touch and it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people. It's